Okay, I got my glasses on for this one. I am doing new video marathon today. Yay, me. All right, this video is going to be your introduction into the mysterious Reiki. Yay. My name is Taronda Yari. I go by Yariel Harrison. You can look me up on Facebook at Yariel Katura, Katura, Aviel, Aviele, and that's Yariel, Yahriel. And my website for massage therapy and Reiki practice is www.yahfire.com. And I'm going to explain to you, or try to explain to you, and give you a little history about Reiki, and then I'll make continuing videos talking about the chakra system, because the chakra system goes hand in glove with Reiki energy work. So there we go. There are 3 levels of Reiki. Level 1 is just the beginning, and you're told to practice that for about a year. Level 2 is long distance Reiki, meaning I can send the energy to you from a distance. I can be out of state, out of the country, wherever. And really all Reiki is like, it's like a prayer, based in Japanese wording, but I can send the Reiki to you long distance. And level 3, which I just came into in July, I went back to Atlanta to my Reiki master, Karen Murray. And if you want to look her up, and she's in Atlanta, she also does Reiki. I don't know what she's doing for the quarantine, but she's the master. Very powerful woman. And I got all 3 levels from that same person. So the type of Reiki that I do is called Usui Reiki. I like to say Usai because I'm Southern and I like a good I. If it's an I in it, I'm going to make it sound long like I. So it's Usai Reiki, Usui. When it comes to Reiki, there's many different types of Reiki. Mine is Usai, and it's named after I'm looking at my notes, Dr. Mikao Usui. And he was born way back in 1865 in Nagoya, Japan. And during that time, that's actually when the slaves were emancipated in America. We were broken out of chattel slavery, sort of, kind of, in 1865. But I digress. But over in China was Dr. Usui. And that's the type of Reiki that I do. You will find that a lot of people, a lot of healers and other people say that they do Reiki. There's many types of Reikis, just like there's many types of chicken. There's many, why did I have to use chicken as an example? Chicken and hamburgers and pizza. There's all different types. You got your Chicago pizza, you got your deep dish, you got, your thin crust. And so different Reikis goes with each person, which is why I chose to get all 3 of my levels from the same person. It's one impartation, one spirit, one uniting, one purpose from the same person. However, there are people who choose to get their Reiki from the internet, which you can do. You can go on the internet and get stuff and get letters. But I just, I come from a church background, and I just believe in the power of one-on-one impartation. And I received that, and then I practiced it in between the years that I got Reiki. I practiced it and in doing massage. So I have a very unique kind of Reiki that I'm doing myself, and I'll eventually be teaching classes on it. It's a mixture. It's an advanced class for an advanced massage therapist, typically one who is empathic and spiritually gifted, and maybe ones that want to go along the avenue of healing and working with people with trauma. So for the most part, in a nutshell, what I do with Reiki, for me, the way that I use Reiki, and it's different for each person. It's a different thing for different people. For me, it is going along a healing path. It's definitely something that's in my tool bag. The blood of Jesus and the name of Jesus is in my tool bag as well. Putting oil on you, on your forehead and all of that, laying hands, that's in my tool bag too. I still have that. I still speak in tongues and all of that. But I also do Reiki, which has a Japanese base. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a history of Reiki. Hopefully I'm not all over the place, but y'all, it takes a lot of planning to make these videos. And I just said today I'm going to stop procrastinating and putting it off. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be flawless. There is a comment section where you can ask questions. You can inbox me. And if you want to do a Reiki session, I'm going to talk to you anyway, because I don't do a Reiki session on anybody without talking with them, because I want to make sure that you're a match for the kind of work that I do. And I want you to be comfortable. And I want to get as much information from you as I can get, because bottom line, you need to be conscious of what the Reiki does. What I've come to know of Reiki, and somebody else may tell it different, but for me, and Yariel's Hands of Fire at www.yafire.com. For me, Reiki is me tapping into your subconscious and opening it up. And when that happens, it's like opening up Pandora's box, or opening up, as they often say, a can of worms. Different people have a different reaction to everything. And if you are dealing with some kind of trauma, because I do Reiki, it may open you up to that trauma. So most times it's a good idea to follow up with psych therapy or psychologists. And I have wonderful, wonderful people to refer you to that during this quarantine, they are doing video conferences, that you can get. But one of my people, she's definitely a sex therapist. She happens to be a spirit-filled Christian as well. And she's dealt with a lot of grief, a lot of children with grief. And she has her own company. She works with a team of people. I don't know if this guy still works with her, but there was a particular guy who specifically was a veteran, and he did a lot of work with people with PTSD. So a lot of work with veterans, and he's a male. So, hey, I definitely can refer you out, and you can apply whatever you get from Reiki to any of your belief systems. If it's Bible, I can definitely prompt you on scriptures and songs to listen to. You can follow that teaching. That Joyce Meyer is a real good person to listen to, because she dealt with a lot of childhood trauma. Her own father, raped and molested her for years. She was married like about 3 times before she got with Dave. And so, you want to listen to different people and read audio. I listen to books on audio all the time, Audible books. If you haven't signed up for Amazon Audible, I can send you one of the books that I've read. And from there, you can, get into it. But anyway, okay, I'm doing it again. I'm 8 minutes in. Let me stop talking. Okay, let me give you the history of Reiki. Stay with me. Mikao Usui, spelled Mikao, Usui, Usui, was the founder of Reiki altogether. Regardless of who tells you they do Reiki too, the original one is with this Japanese man, and over in Japan. His academic studies included medicine, psychology, religion, and a Japanese version of Qigong called Kik. Now, Qigong is also connected with Tai Chi. And these are all different forms of Tai Chi, would kind of follow the umbrella of martial arts, but it's more of a flowing movement. So if you've ever watched a television show and they showed some elderly people in Japan out in the park doing these kind of movements like this, and a flow and everybody's moving together, that's Tai Chi. It doesn't involve kicking, swinging, and punching, but there is a sway, and it's like a dance, like a swan. That is a form of meditation. Tai Chi is something I learned. We took a whole semester of that in massage school. Tai Chi is what I use to move around the table, and that's how I've been able to do massage for 15 years without having any back problems. And I am somebody who had back surgery. I went like almost a whole year not being able to walk. My back was so jacked up. So Tai Chi teaches me how to stand, how to move so that I don't throw my back out moving around a table and working long shifts. Massage is a very physically demanding job, especially if you have a large person or a very muscular person on the table. It takes a lot of strength. And a lot of what I do, I'm pushing from my legs. And we learned all of that through Tai Chi. So if there's anything you want to get into, Tai Chi is some good videos. If you can find some videos on Tai Chi or DVDs, or I think it's called Gaia, Gaia. That subscription you can get. You can find some Tai Chi videos and learn how to do it. It's a great meditation to get off into. I think I just pulled my eyelash off. Oh, Lord. Okay. So silly. All right. So that's a Dr. Yusai. And this guy, born and raised into this, he grew up in a Buddhist temple. He studied in the temple. And eventually he started having problems, and so he went on a 21-day retreat that was being held in a Buddhist temple. And on the 21st day of the retreat, Dr. Yusei was spiritually awakened and given the Reiki cure, which is what a portion of what I'm using today, because he's had 2 other students that added to it. Okay, so Reiki symbols and the 5 spiritual principles of Reiki. And these are some of the spiritual principles. Number 1, just for today, do not worry, as in one day at a time. Number 2 is just for today, do not anger. That means don't be mad. Just for today, one day at a time, do not be angry. Number 3 is honor your parents, teachers, and elders. Number 4 is earn your living honestly. Number 5 is show gratitude to everything. So as time went, he came up with this system, and in on September 1st, 1923, there was an 8.3 magnitude earthquake that occurred in Tokyo, Yokohama, Japan. And when that happened, over 100,000 people, the death toll was over 100,000. And about 40,000 people went missing, and hundreds of thousands were injured and left homeless. So during this time, Dr. Yusai took what he had gotten a revelation on through fasting and praying. He took what he had gotten a revelation on, and he started using it to heal people. So people would come from miles around, and they would be lined up for him to do Reiki on them. Essentially, Reiki is a series of letters that mean different things. And I'm not going to go that deep to tell you what they are, because I don't know if that's secret information. But if you were to Google Reiki, you would see some of the letters. And I'm attuned to about 7 of the letters. At the master level. And because I'm a master, that means I can also attune someone else. I can teach someone else Reiki. But I am a fresh master. I was just attuned in July of 2020. I went to Atlanta and got that done through my Reiki master, Karen Murray. And I want to wait a while before I'm attuning people. Karen's been a Reiki master for some years now. I forget how many she told me. But I'm only number 9. It's not something that she does for everybody. It's not like going on the internet just getting some paper. And that's why I don't like getting stuff off the paper. Even when I was in the church world, you became a minister because you showed yourself, not just saying confession that you're called, but you showed yourself to be someone who was disciplined, who was submitted, who lived a certain lifestyle, who carried themselves with a certain demeanor. And it's the same way with this. I kind of left church with that same mentality. I didn't want to get Reiki off the internet. I wanted to go back to my original person that prayed for me, because number 1, And shout out to Karen Murray if she's watching this video. And yes, I did use your notes from my Reiki 1. I found it. My Reiki 1 class that I took back in 2014. But the reason why I chose Karen Murray and I like Karen was because her spirit was so pure. She's very gifted. And you wouldn't know unless you're also gifted too. You can kind of peep and sense when she's seeing or she's looking, but she can put that poker face on and sit there with a straight face and so powerful with it. And I don't see an ego when I deal with her. I had the chance to work as an instructor and trained under her a little bit, didn't stay too long, at Gwinnett College, where she retired from there. I guess you can call it retiring, but she ain't really retired. But, she left there. But she's taught for years. She's a very good teacher. I love her way. And very interested in helping people. And so I wanted that same spirit to be with me as I go and do the work. And definitely, I could feel the elevation. Because of the quarantine, we did my attunement in several ways. There's the part where she, I call everything laying hands. I like church terms. She laid hands, and then the next day we finished up doing the one-on-one over Zoom. But yeah, I like sticking with the same teacher. Going back to the Reiki teacher, he ended up dying, and one of his students took over. And after that student took over, another lady came up. Her name is Miss Takata. What is her whole name? Do I have her whole name? It's Takata. And you can look her up and do studies on her. But at the end of the day, this woman came. She's from Hawaii. So I guess she's an American actually. But her family is from Japan. And her husband died. Her sister died. And I believe this lady was just struggling from a lot of grief. So while she came to Japan to be with her family, her parents, after all of this loss in her life, she was constantly ill. She was diagnosed with a tumor, gallstones, asthma, and appendicitis. This lady was in a real bad way. And of course, there was depression. And just as she was about to have surgery, she felt led to cancel the surgery and seek out some kind of energy work or spiritual treatment. That's what I love about the Asian culture. Many of them are raised on this. From kids, they're raised on how to tune into their body, how to eat certain foods. If you notice, it's hard to find a 500-pound Asian person. They have a diet that's a little bit more strict, and they're not eating as much the way that we eat, all of the sugars and the fried foods. Even though they do eat fried food, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying they seem to be a healthier culture. Just do the research. I'm not gonna argue about that. I'm not gonna argue with you, person that's watching this, with your opinion. I'm not gonna argue. So anyway, this lady went to the man that took over the Reiki after Dr. Yusai died, and it was Dr. Hayashi, and that's spelled Hayashi. And in 4 months' time, she went from needing surgery and all of these ailments to being completely cured. Completely. So in 1936, Mrs. Takata expressed an interest in receiving Reiki training in order to continue the work on herself and to share it with others. She went on to do Reiki, and before she died, she initiated 22 people. Now, the way Miss Takata handled the Reiki was that she wanted everybody to learn it from the same person. They wanted to keep the same flow, the sacredness of the thing, so that it would really work on people, because it was working. And she actually charged $10,000 for her classes. Now, back in the early 1900s or the mid 1900s, that's a lot. $10,000 is a lot of money today. So back then, that was a lot of money to be charging. So that's why only 22 people got it. But as things go, people spread, things spread around, and now you got everybody all over the world saying they do Reiki. And I am not downplaying anybody else that does any form of Reiki, any way that they do it. More power to you. If it's for the greater good, and you're applying your energy and you're praying for people and your intention is well to wish them well, call it Reiki, call it spaghetti and meatballs, whatever you want to call it. Just get the people healed, get the people to peace, get the people well. That's all I'm saying. Doesn't matter. So anyway, if you come to Yariel's Hands of Fire, I will be doing Usai Reiki. I am only the ninth person that Karen Murray has given Reiki to. So she kind of goes in the same spirit of Mrs. Takata. It's not given to everybody. You can get 1 and 2 from her. A lot of people can get that. But level 3 gives you power to pass it on to other people and gives you power to also teach it from your own angle, because ain't nobody going to be watching. So, there. So I feel like I'm accountable by saying that. All right, so what to expect if you get a Reiki session. Number 1, if you go to www.yahfire.com, that's YAHFIRE.com. That is my website on massage. If you go to my services, if you hit the top of the screen, it'll give you a drop down box and you'll see services. You click services, you will see Reiki. And you can go to Reiki and you can hear the testimonies of 2 people that left videos. And I think I got a 3rd person that's going to be making a new video because he's received long distance Reiki. And so he can give you a little bit more on that. And different people can give experiences that they've had. I have had people who I've sent Reiki to for free just because I was, still practicing. I've been on the phone with friends who, I remember one night I was on the phone with one friend. I was in Atlanta and he was in Louisiana, and he literally was about to go for an emergency room visit because the pain was so severe in his stomach. And this person has a history of ulcers and nerve stuff. And so I said, you want me to send you some Reiki? Because I always ask permission. And I did so real quick while we were on the phone, and he was shocked. Like, what did you just do? It spooked him out, and he didn't have to go to the hospital anymore. And then I'll explain why, to make this video short. Actually, what Reiki does is it unlocks your subconscious. It's a flow of a kinetic or a spiritual energy. Again, energy work. Anytime you're doing energy work, you are not physically touching someone with your hands. You can have your hands over them, waving your hands, and that will emit an energy. If there's a question about energy, let me give you this example. You ever walk into a room and you kind of look around, something don't feel right? That's energy. You ever walk into a room, or you ever come around somebody and they may have said good morning real happy, but you sense that something's not right with them and you say, are you okay? And they may lie to you and say, oh, I'm fine. Or they may tell you the truth and say, they've given my grandmother 2 days to live, girl, and burst out crying. That's energy. That's sensing energy. And whether you proclaim to be a prophet, a psychic, a medium, a spirit-filled Christian, or whether you don't own any gifts at all, or you don't claim to own them, we are all spiritual beings having a bodily experience. And when it comes to Reiki, your body subconsciously is manifesting itself in the form of dis-ease. So it may be an ailment or some kind of symptom or some kind of reaction that the body is giving you. For instance, panic attacks, anxiety attacks, heart palpitations, um, even just depression altogether. That could be something going on in the heart chakra. There are 7 chakras, main chakras that we deal with, and I'll go through those chakras one by one, but I'm going to name them real quick. There's root chakra, there's sacral chakra, there's the solar plexus, there's heart chakra, there is throat chakra, there is the third eye, and there is crown chakra, which would be found in the center of your head. It's the soft spot that you had when you were a baby. And I will make a separate video for each of those 7 chakras to go through, because I'm learning how to make short videos. You hear that, Erica? You remember you told me I need to make short videos because people don't listen to the long ones. So I'm going to end this one about 30 minutes. But just a general idea. If you're having chest palpitations or heart trouble, or maybe they've done MRIs and CAT scans and all kind of stuff on your chest and they can't find anything wrong with you, chances are something's going wrong in heart chakra and your body is manifesting it in the form of a disease or an ailment. And that's where the Reiki comes in. Sometimes the doctor may have you on medication. Sometimes they may not have anything for you. Like stuff like fibromyalgia. They usually don't have a cure for that, just a bunch of pain pills. And pain pills start to mess with the liver and constipate you and make you sicker. Stuff like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. If your stomach's always messed up, chances are this is stress related and the body is acting out. IBS is going to be found in the intestinal area. I would put that in solar plexus, even though it probably could go between solar and sacral chakra, because that's below and above your belly button. So wherever the pain's origin is from, like stomach ulcers would be coming from the stomach. You'll find the stomach in the solar plexus. If you looked at an x-ray, that's going to be above the belly button. Well, that's going to tell me that you have issues dealing with solar plexus. Solar plexus, which I'll talk more in depth about in the video, has to do with a judgment. You can have a judgment against a person, place, or thing. And that definitely is going to be a lot of childhood trauma. It may be a divorce. It may be you're angry because somebody killed your child, or you lost a loved one or a brother or sister. All kind of stuff can be locked up in solar plexus or in heart chakra because it broke your heart. You watch grandma die. You watched a child die. That can mess you up in heart chakra. So then you'll have issues in the heart. And it'll go all the way around the chest where heart chakra is located. Heart chakra is going to be above the rib cage and below the shoulders. So you can have a pain in the middle of your back, in the middle of your scapula, and you haven't done any heavy lifting, or you did some heavy lifting and now it's all jacked up. That could be a pulled muscle, and it also could be your body saying your heart is hurting. Stop and see a counselor. Stop and unpack your grief. When I say unpack, that's all you're doing when you go to a therapist. You're talking it out. You're getting it out of your body and into the atmosphere. Now, in the Christian faith, we're taught cast your cares on God because he cares for you, or cast your cares on the water. So you can pronounce and send that thing out of your body and give it to God, or put it under the blood of Jesus, or bury it. If you're just doing natural ways and you don't want to use the Christian way, you can journal that thing out and bury it or burn it. Whatever is bothering you that's connected to these different chakras is manifesting itself. And what I do as Reiki, I come in, I unlock that in the spirit, and I help you to remember fully and help bring you to a place of uh, purging or cleansing or breakthrough or whatever spirit has for you, whatever. And that's Reiki in a nutshell. It's not religion. It's not demonic. It's nothing to be afraid of. Um, I just say try it. Try it. Um, Try it. I'm doing a $50 special right now around Labor Day and around the fall and around the corona and all of that. And if you go through a consultation with me, I just might give you another little discount after we try it out. Maybe I'll discount you for another session, or maybe give you your first session free so you can see what happens, and then your next session you'll pay for it. And no promises here. We'll see. It just depends on how our consultation goes, because I'm going to be tuning in with my spirit and making sure that the timing is right, that I am the right practitioner for you. And also, I have to deal with stuff that I've conquered, or that I got a good authority over. If it's something out of my league, I may refer you out to my Reiki master or Karen Murray, or I may refer you to something else, or maybe I may refer you to get a reading or something like that. It just depends. But I'm mixing in a lot of what I learned from church. Again, I don't believe the Bible is infallible, but I do believe that the Bible is very useful. And there are lots of things that I use, and it's a part of my toolbox. It's part of my medicine bag. And when you do a session, if you have Spotify, because I have Spotify, I may make a special playlist for you, some music that you could be playing. You just need to be rested. You need to be settled and at home and have some time to yourself. Like when you put the kids down to go to bed, so that I'll do my work on my end, but we will have talked and you will be very conscious of what we're going after. Or if you're not sure what you need to deal with, but all you know is you can't sleep at night and you're having these headaches or you're having nightmares, you need a Reiki session. I will go into spirit and I will give you what spirit gives me. And I'll tell you where the hangups are and maybe some suggestions, because each chakra deals with certain things. So I'll make more videos. Can't promise you I'll get them all done today. May get one done. But I will do that. If you have any comments, leave them in comments below, or you can inbox me. And that's about everything. I hope I covered a lot of the basics of Reiki. Again, my website is www.yafire.com. I am stationed in New Orleans, Louisiana. Actually, I live in the suburb of New Orleans in Slidell, across the Lake Pontchartrain. So if you're in the Slidell area, when my car gets out of the shop, I can do home visits, and we can do a wonderful session that's infused with Reiki and massage. Deep tissue is my flow, but it'll be according to what kind of pressure you can take. I would, if I feel clear to let you in, I'll invite you to my home. I'm working from my home right now. Not working out of a spa right now. So go to my website, read up more, and that'll be it. And in case nobody's told you today, I love you. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks for listening.